Welcome back to computer science class. In this session, we discuss two-dimensional array example programs. Let's consider a program product of two matrices. Product of two matrices. In the last session, we discussed how to add two matrix elements, then how to find a transpose of a matrix, then how to find the row sum and column sum. So here the problem statement is product of two matrices. Here to perform a product of two matrices, the two matrices must be compatible. The meaning of the compatible in a product matrix is if the first matrix order is M1 cross N1, then second one is M2 cross N2. To perform a product of two matrices, the inner order must be same. The inner order must be same. Then the resultant matrix order is outer order. That is, if the order 3 cross 2, then second one is 2 cross 2, then we can perform the product of two matrices because here inner orders are same. Inner orders are same, hence we can perform the product of two matrices. Then the resultant matrix is the outer order, that is 3 cross 2, it is a resultant matrix. This is the condition for compatibility. The condition for compatibility is if the first order matrix is M1 cross N1, second matrix order is M2 cross N2, then condition is if N1 is equal to M2, N1 is equal to M2. If this condition is true, then we can perform the product of two matrices. That is the condition for compatibility. Next, if you perform product means, let's consider a two matrix elements. Here order is 3 cross 2, 3 rows, 2 columns, that is 3, 2, 1, 4, 0, 1. Then second one is 2 cross 2, 2 cross 2, 2 rows, 2 column, 2, 1, 1, 2. So these are the matrix elements. This one is the A, then this one is the B. We have to perform A into B, that is the product of two matrices. To perform product of two matrices, here is I have to multiply first row, second column, then second row, second column, like this. See here what we done. First row 3 into 2 plus 2 into 1, it returns the first element. First row, second column returns the second element, that is 3 into 1 plus 2 into 2. Second row, first column, third element, that is 1 into 2 plus 4 into 1. Next one is second row, second column returns the fourth element, that is 1 into 1 plus 4 into 2. Next one is 0 into 2 plus 1 into 1. Next one is 0 into 1 plus 1 into 2. Then after simplification of this expression, we got a product of two matrices. How it is? First row elements, first column element returns the first number. Then first row, second column returns the second number. Second row, first column returns the third number. Second row, second column returns the fourth number. Third row, first column returns the fifth number. Then third row, second column returns the sixth number. So this is the product of two matrices. See here we perform both multiplication and addition. We have to perform both multiplication and addition. The resultant matrix returns the product of two matrices. See here the order is 2 cross 2, that is the outer order. Okay, 3 cross 2, that is the outer order. The resultant matrix returns outer order, that is 3 cross 2. See here 3, 2. 3 cross 2 is the resultant matrix order. So after simplification, we got Say here 3 into 2, 6 plus 2, 3 plus 4, 2 plus 4, 1 plus 8, 0 plus 1, 0 plus 2. Then which is equal to 6 plus 2, that is 8, 7, 6, 9, 1, 2. See the order, that is 3 cross 2. This is the product of two compatible matrices. So this is the logic for the product of two matrices. Let's consider one more example. If the order is 3 cross 1, then the order is 2 cross 2. The order is 2 cross 2. Then the product of two matrices is not performed because the inner orders are not same. When we perform a product, if the inner orders are same, then we can perform the product of two matrices. Later, if first order is 3 cross 1, second one is 1 cross 2, then we can perform because inner orders are same. Let's see, A equals 3, 4, 6. A equals 3, 4, 6. 3 rows, 1 column. Here B 1 row, 2 columns. That is 1, 2. Only 1 row, 2 columns. We can perform the product of two matrices. How to perform the product of two matrices? Then here resultant matrix is 3 cross 2. How to perform? A into B, which is equal to 3 into 1, 3 into 1. Then next one is 3 into 2, next 4 into 1, 4 into 2, 6 into 1, 6 into 2. That is first row, first column, first element. First row, second column, second element. Here have only one element in the first row, 3, only one element in the column, hence 3 into 1. It returns the first element. 3 into 2, first row, second column, second element. Third, second row, first column, third element. Second row, second column, fourth element. Third row, first column, fifth element. Third row, second column, that is sixth element. Then which is equal to 3, 6, 4, 8, 6, 12. So this is the resultant matrix, that is the outer order 3 rows into 2 columns. See the result, 3 rows into 2 columns. This is the product of two matrices. To perform the operation, it needs 3 for loops. Because here we perform both multiplication and addition operation. Hence it needs 3 for loops. Let's see the program. First write a problem statement, that is program to find product of two compatible matrices. Then for that write the preprocess statements. iostream.h conio.h main of the program. Under the main of the program, declare the variables. Here variables are integer of a of 5, 5, first matrix, then second matrix. It needs resultant matrix, that is P of 5, 5. The index values I, J, K. It needs 3 for loops. So index values are I, J and K. Then orders M1, N1, M2, N2. So these are the variables required for the program. Then CLR, SSCR to clear a screen. output, enter order of the first matrix. Read the order of the first matrix. Order of the first matrix. Then the order is C in extraction M1 extraction N1. Next, enter order of the second matrix. Order of the second matrix. Then the order is C in extraction M2 extraction M2. First read the order separately. Then verify if inner orders, that is N1 is equal to M2. If inner orders are same, then we have to read the elements, perform the product. Otherwise, do not read any elements. So here first verify the compatibility. If it is compatible, then cout enter first matrix elements. Enter first matrix elements. To read a first matrix elements, we need for I equals 0, I less than M1, I plus plus. For j equals 0, j less than N1, j plus plus. Under that, C in extraction A of I j. It is for reading a first matrix element. Then also read the second matrix elements. So for that, write the output, enter second matrix elements. Enter second matrix elements. Then here to read a second matrix elements, again we need two for loops. I equals 0, I less than, here order is M2, I plus plus. For j equals 0, j less than N2, j plus plus. C in extraction second order second matrix name is B, B of I j. Okay, read the elements for first matrix, then read the elements for second matrix. After that, we have to multiply the elements. To multiply the elements, we have to access the elements. Again, for I equals 0, here to access the array elements, we use the outer order. I equals 0, I less than M1, I plus plus. Under that, for j equals 0, j less than N2, j plus plus. Next, initialize P of ij, that is product element which is equal to 0. Initialize product is equal to 0. Then use one more for loop. For k equals 0, k less than inner order N2, k plus plus. Here inner orders are same. Then to perform the product, the expression is P of ij which is equal to P of ij plus P of ij plus A of ik into B of kj. P of kj, because the product of matrix have both addition and multiplication. The first row, first column, you have to multiply first row elements with the first column elements of the second matrix. First row elements from the first matrix, column elements from the second matrix. For this, here is an logic. There is no alternative to remember this logic. We have to practice the expression. The expression is product of ij which is equal to product of ij plus first element, first matrix name, that is A of ik into B of kj. Then close the k for loop, close the j for loop, and close the outer for loop I. After perform the product operation, you have to print the product. So Cout product of given matrices is, just insert a output command. So product of given matrices is, again use the for loop to print the matrix elements. I equals 0. Again we know that the resultant matrix is the outer order. So I equals 0, I less than m1 I plus plus. Another one is for j equals 0, j less than n2 j plus plus. Inside that output resultant matrix P of I j, then set width of 4. Set width of 4. Close the j loop. Cout, move on to the next line. This logic for to get a result in matrix form. Close the form. Then close the if. This one is closed here. Else Cout matrices are not compatible. Matrices are not compatible. When matrices are not compatible, if this condition is false, see here when we close the if statement, else go to the alternative part, here we output matrices are not compatible. After that, get ch, close the main program. So this is the program for product of two matrices. Carefully observe the program. It is a lengthiest program in your first PUC syllabus. Be careful about product. This is the main logic. Be careful about the logic. You have to practice this logic. There is no alternative for the remembering. Just we have to practice the logic. What we done here, I repeat. First we read the first matrix order. Then we read the second matrix order, then we will verify the compatibility. The compatibility condition is inner order must be same, hence here we compare n1 is equal to m2, where m1 n1 is the order of first matrix, m2 n2 is the order of the second matrix, hence the inner orders are n1 and m2. Here we compare n1 is equal to m2. If it is compatible, then we have to read the first matrix elements, then we read the second matrix elements. Already we know that how to read matrix elements. See the first order matrix, that is m1 n1, second order matrix is m2 n2. We read the first matrix element and second matrix element. Assign to the respective matrices. Here it is A, here it is B. After reading the matrix elements, again we have to access first row and second column elements. Hence here the order is m1 and n2 outer order. The order of the accessing is outer order, that is m1 and n2. At the same time, initialize the product is 0 because here we have to add the product. Hence initialize product equals 0. Then use one more for loop to access the column elements. It is for accessing a column elements. Then the expression is P of ij, which is equal to P of ij plus A of ik into B of kj. It is a expression. Based on this expression, we find the product of a matrix that is assigned to the matrix P. We have to print the matrix elements. To print the matrix element, the order is outer order. Hence here I is incremented up to m1. J is incremented up to n2. The m1 and n2 are the outer orders. Then print the product and matrices. If the compatibility is false, see here else part, say compatibility is false, then we say matrices are not compatible. Get the character, close the main program. It is a lab program. Mark it as it is a lab program. Let's discuss given matrix is square or rectangle or an scalar matrix. To verify the given matrix is rectangle or square and then scalar, see here, square, rectangle and scalar. We have to verify all these things based for the given matrix. Let's consider a matrix 3, 2, 4, 5. 3, 2, 4, 5. It is clear that the order of the given matrix is 2 cross 2, then it is a square matrix. Then one more example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here order is 2 rows, 3 columns, 2 cross 3, then it is a square matrix. It is easy to say the given matrix is square and or rectangle. What is the condition for given matrix is square or rectangle? If the both orders are same, if the both three orders are same. If the order is m cross n, generally we say the order is m cross n. If m is equal to n, the number of rows are equal to number of columns, then the given matrix is square matrix. If it is not equal, given matrix is rectangle. Clearly we say square and rectangle matrix. Then third one is scalar matrix. To say the given matrix is scalar, there is a conditions. The first condition is the given matrix must be square. The condition for square matrix is, first one, given matrix must be square. Given matrix must be square. Then second condition is all principal diagonal matrix or matrix elements are same. All principal diagonal elements are same. Principal diagonal matrix elements are same. Then third one, other than principal diagonal elements are zero. If it satisfies these three conditions, then we say given matrix is scalar matrix. Carefully observe the conditions. There is a three condition to say scalar matrix. The first condition is given matrix must be square. When we say it is a square, if orders are same, rows and columns are same, then given matrix is scalar. That is the first condition. Second one is all principal diagonal elements are same. What is principal diagonal elements? See here, this is the principal diagonal elements. All principal diagonal elements must be same. Then third one is other than principal diagonal elements must be zero. See the example. The example is 1 0 0 0 1 0 1 okay 0 0 1. The order of the matrix is 3 rows 3 columns. It satisfies the first condition. Given matrix is a square matrix. Then second one is all principal diagonal elements are same. See here, these are the principal diagonal elements. All principal diagonal elements are same. Third one is other than principal diagonal elements. Rest of the principal diagonal elements must be zero. Hence, it is a scalar matrix. It is a scalar matrix. Consider one more example. 0 okay 2 0 0 0 2 0 1 0 2. Here also order is 3 cross 3. It is a square matrix but not scalar. How to verify it is a square but not scalar? Order is same, hence it is a square. All the principal diagonal elements are also same, but rest of the principal diagonal elements are not equal to 0. See here, there is a 1. The condition is other than principal diagonal elements are 0, but here rest of the elements are not equal to 0. Hence, the given matrix is not a scalar. Not a scalar. So these are the condition to verify scalar, square and rectangle. It is easy to verify square and rectangle. If the orders are same, then we say it is a square. If the orders are not same, then we say rectangle. But to say scalar, we have to verify these three conditions. Out of these three conditions, if any one is fail, given matrix is not a scalar matrix. Based on this condition, we have to verify the program. So, how to verify the program? Let's consider a example 0, 1, 1, 0. It is a 2 cross 2. Then all principal diagonal elements are same, but remaining elements are not a scalar. Then consider another one 5, 0, 0, 5. Then it is a scalar. First condition, it is a square matrix because 2 rows, 2 columns. Then all principal diagonal elements are same. Then rest of the principal diagonal elements are 0. How to verify? See the address 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. These are the addresses. If it is a 3 cross 3, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. So these are the memory addresses. Let's see the principal diagonal elements. What is the address of principal diagonal elements? It is always same. Here it is 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, same. The both I and j values are same. If I and j values are same, then it identifies the principal diagonal elements. Based on this value, we have to verify the scalar. First, we know that given matrix is not a scalar. Given matrix is not a scalar. Then, when it is a scalar element, scalar matrix, if all the principal diagonal elements are same, other than principal diagonal elements are equal to 0, then we say it is a scalar element. That is the one method. Another one is, we thought that given matrix is a scalar matrix. First, we thought that given matrix is a scalar matrix. Then we have to verify it is not satisfy any one of this condition. See here what we done. First, we assume that given matrix is a scalar matrix. Then we have to prove or we have to verify is any one of the condition is not satisfied, then our assumption is wrong. We have to say given matrix is not a scalar matrix. For that, first we have to access all the elements. For I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus, and also j equals 0, j less than n, j plus plus. We have to access all the array elements. Then we assume that says scalar element. Scalar element is the first element, that is a of 0, 0. The first element is called scalar element. Then second is also same, then third one is also same, like this. So scalar element is equal to a of 0. Then we assume that scalar is equal to 1. These are the two initialization inside the for loop. What we done? First element is the scalar element. The given matrix is a scalar matrix. Then we have to verify if I value is equal to j. When I is equal to j, it identifies only principal diagonal elements. Under the if, again we have to verify if scalar element is not equal to a of ij. What is the condition for scalar element is not equal to? Can see the condition, not equal to a of ij. A of ij, then our assumption is wrong. Scalar element is same for all the principal and diagonal elements. Here we verify scalar is not equal to a of j. Our assumption is wrong. We have to modify scalar equals 0, then break the condition. What is the purpose of break? Not necessary to access the next element. If this condition is false, if this condition is false means I is equal to j represents only principal diagonal elements other than principal diagonal elements are, else if other than principal diagonal elements are equal to 0, that is a of ij again not equal to 0. We have to verify the third condition is not equal to 0, then also scalar is equal to 0, break. This is the programming segment. What we done here? First we read a matrix, then we have to access each element from the given matrix, then assume that first element is a scalar element, because see the second condition, all principal diagonal elements must be same. Then we thought that given matrix is a scalar matrix. We have to verify given matrix is not a scalar matrix. When it is not a scalar, if principal diagonal elements are not equal, if other than principal diagonal elements are not equal to 0, then given matrix is not a scalar. First we have to say given matrix is scalar, then we have to verify I is equal to j, index value I is equal to j only for the principal diagonal elements. Here we verify only principal diagonal elements. If the principal diagonal elements are not equal to scalar element, this one scalar element, then our assumption is wrong. Here we say true, 1 for true, our assumption is wrong, stop the iteration. If this condition is false, I is not equal to j means it represents other than principal diagonal elements. See here, I is not equal to j. Other than principal diagonal elements are not equal to 0, that is the condition 3. Then also given matrix is not a scalar, scalar equals 0, stop. After that we have to verify if scalar or is equal to 1. Scalar element is equal to 1. If it is true, given matrix is scalar, else given matrix is not a scalar. Not a scalar. So these are the programming techniques to verify scalar. Before going to verify these two conditions, second and third condition, we have to verify given matrix is square. It is easy to verify given matrix is square. If m is equal to n, if it is true, then we can perform all these conditions. If it is not equal, then we directly say given matrix is not a square. If it is not a square, then it is not a scalar. So let's write a program. First write a problem statement, that is program to verify given matrix is square, rectangle or an scalar. That is the problem statement to verify given matrix is rectangle, square or an scalar. First write the pre-process statements. Okay, there is a given matrix, not matrices. There is a only one matrix, hence declare a matrix integer of a of 5, 5. If it is a single matrix, index values are I and j, orders m cross n. It needs scalar, it is a temporary variable, and another one is scalar ELE element. These are the two temporary variables required for this program. CLR, SCR to clear screen. First read the order of the matrix. Enter order of the matrix enter order of the matrix C in extraction M extraction N. Read the order of the matrix and also read the matrix elements. See out. Enter matrix elements. Matrix elements. To read matrix elements, it needs two for loops. One is I equals 0, I less than M, I plus plus. It represents the row. For j equals 0, j less than n, j plus plus. It represents the column. Under that, C in extraction A of I j. First index value represents the row, second index value represents the column. After reading the elements, we have to verify if orders are same, M is equal to N. If orders are same, then we directly say see out given matrix is square, and we have to verify the scalarity. Hence, just write given matrix is square. After that, read the matrix elements. Before going to read the matrix elements, initialize scalar equals 1. Assume that given matrix is a scalar matrix. Then also read the scalar element. Scalar E element is equal to first element, that is A of 0, 0. 0, 0 is the first element. Assume that given matrix is a scalar, then scalar element equals A of 0, 0. Then read the matrix elements. To read the matrix elements, use for loop I equals 0, I less than M, I plus plus. For j equals 0, j less than n, j plus plus. Then verify if I is equal to j, I is equal to j. Under that, again verify if scalar element is not equal to A of ij. First, we have to verify all principal diagonals must be same. Here we verify scalar element is not equal to A of ij, means principal diagonal elements are not equal. This is the condition for principal diagonal elements are not equal. If it is not equal, our assumption is wrong. So, reassign scalar equals 0, insert break. Not necessary to access next element. If it is false, see here, which one is false? I is equal to j. I is equal to j. It is false. Then we have to verify if A of ij elements is not equal to 0. If I of ij means this one only access the principal diagonal elements. When principal diagonal elements are accessed, if I is equal to j. If I is not equal to j, move on to the next line. It represents, this expression represents rest of the principal diagonal elements. If rest of the principal diagonal elements are not equal to 0, then also our assumption is wrong. So, modify scalar equals 0, break. Out of these two conditions, if any one of the condition is true, then our assumption is wrong. See here, first one, principal diagonals are not equal to 0, then also our assumption is wrong. Rest of the principal diagonals are not equal to 0, then also our assumption is wrong. Based on these two conditions, so we have to conclude that if scalar variable is equal to 1, means here we assign is equal to 1, it is a scalar matrix. If this condition is also false, this condition is also false, means succeeding statements are not executed. If it is not executed, the value of the scalar remains the same, that is our assumption is true. If it is true, output scalar, output just scalar, else output not a scalar, not a scalar. Then close the if. This is this one, compatibility. So m is equal to n. So given matrix is square and scalar, or given matrix is square but not a scalar. Then if m is not equal to n, here we close the if part, not equal to n, then given matrix is rectangle. That is right here. Else see out given matrix is rectangle. Close the double quotation. Get C hat. Close the main program. Okay, it is a program to verify given matrix is square or rectangle or an scalar. To verify the scalar, there is a three conditions. The matrix must be square, all principal diagonal elements must be equal, all other than principal diagonal elements must be equal to 0. So I repeat the program. First we read the order of the order of the matrix, then read the elements for the matrix. After that we verify if orders are same. If orders are same, then directly we say given matrix is square. After that we have to verify the scalarity. To verify the scalarity, first initialize, this is only initialization, given matrix is scalar. Then first element is the scalar element. Using these two initialization, we have to verify given matrix is not a scalar. To say given matrix is not a scalar, there is a two condition. If all scalar elements are not equal, and other than principal diagonal elements are not equal to 0. Out of these two conditions, if any one condition is true, our assumption is wrong. Using this technique, here initialize scalar equals 1. If this condition is true, scalar elements are not equal, then our assumption is wrong. How to say it is wrong? By assigning the 0 value to the temporary variable scalar. Then other than principal diagonal elements, if it is I equals 0, represents only principal diagonal elements. If this condition is false, means it represents other than principal diagonal elements. If other than principal diagonal elements are not equal, then also our assumption is wrong. So assign the 0 to the scalar variable. Based on the value of 0 or 1, we have to say given matrix is scalar or not a scalar. If the scalar is equal to 1, it remains the same. Then given matrix is scalar, otherwise given matrix is not a scalar. Initially, if m is not equal to n is false, m is not equal to n, condition returns false, directly we say given matrix is rectangle, get CH, close the program. It is a simple program to say given matrix is square or rectangle or an scalar. The last type of an array is multi-dimensional array. Already we know that array is a homogeneous collection of elements. All elements share the same name and same data type. Arrays are mainly classified into three types: one-dimensional, two-dimensional and multi-dimensional. If array have only one index value, that is called one-dimensional. Array have two index values or subscripts, that is called two-dimensional. Then array have n dimensions. If array have n dimensions are called multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensional array, or in other words, array of an array. Array of an array is also called multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensional array. In your first PU, respect to the multi-dimensional, only definition is there. Just practice the definition. What is multi-dimensional array? Array have n dimensions. Array have n dimensions are called multi-dimensional array, or array of an array is also called multi-dimensional array. In this chapter we discuss definition of array, types of array, then how to declare and initialize a one-dimensional array, how to access a one-dimensional array elements, example programs on one-dimensional array, then also how to represent a memory for one-dimensional array. With respect to the two-dimensional array, we discuss how to declare and initialize two-dimensional array, how to access a two-dimensional array elements, examples on two-dimensional array elements, then memory representation for the two-dimensional array, and examples programs on two-dimensional array. Then also we discuss what is multi-dimensional array. With respect to multi-dimensional, only definition we discuss. So array of an array or array have n dimensions are called multi-dimensional array. This is the end of this chapter, array. Thank you.